Alright, guys, so Chucky Season 2, Episode 3, Hail Mary, came out yesterday. I forgot to get a video up last week for the second episode, so I was trying to find it somewhere to stream. I'm sure I could find it somewhere, so I'll have that video up in the next coming days or something like that. But since we already kind of know where it's going with this episode, just to be a completionist and have that episode up and talk a little about that. But good episode. Like, I feel like it's actually picking up steam a little bit, which was not a complaint, but what I said, like with the first episode of the season, that just for all the things that they had to set up and go through what everybody's been going through and their mental states, and Devin and Jake being separated for a little bit, and Lexi going through her whole drug addiction stage, and not being able to deal with this the most out of pretty much all of them. Like, she's taking this the hardest, like, by far. And now they get sent off to this school for troubled kids, this Catholic school where Charles Lee Ray went when he was a child and lived there, and that's when he met Eddie Caputo. And the priest, played by Devin Sawa, I forget the priest's last name, I'm just going to call him Devin Sawa because that's who he is to me. Fucking, I love Devin Sawa. And I think that was a great choice to have him come into the show. Like, I haven't seen Sawa in anything since maybe a little bit after Final Destination. And this is 20 years ago or so, right? So just seeing Devin Sawa back in horror is great in order just to see him back. And the priest wants Chucky back because in the last episode, the doll went missing. So he says he wants it back on his desk by the end of the day. And the whole Chucky interrogation scene and trying to brainwash him, awesome. Like, I was laughing so hard during that. We get such a great nod to A Clockwork Orange. They're strapping his eyes open, just like Alex in there. And seeing clips from my favorite movie of all time, The Thing, thrown in there. And they're trying to brainwash Chucky against violence. And then showing him My Little Pony. What a great scene. Like, my favorite scene so far in this season, like, by far. And it seems to have worked. But as Devin keeps saying, like, he's probably the smartest one out of all of them. Just saying it, this is Chucky we're talking about. This is a sadistic serial killer in doll form. Can you really trust that brainwashing him worked? And I'd say not for a fucking second. Like, I don't buy Chucky's whole reformed self at all. And then at the end here, we have the second Chucky show up. So who knows where they're going? I honestly don't see where they're going with this, which is good. Like, I remember a few episodes last season that it was a little too obvious where they were heading with the story. So far, I really don't see where they're going with this, which is a nice little surprise there. We find out that Lexi's mother lost the election, which I said in the first episode that there was no chance that she was winning that again. No chance she was going to get reelected. After all the shit that happened under her watch as mayor in the first season, and especially with the whole movie theater massacre at the end in the finale, there was no way that this woman was being reelected. And we find out from Trevor, the dickhead that's always trying to mess with Lexi, that indeed she lost the election. So no big surprise there at all for me. But Trevor is such a fucking asshole. Like, and I thought that that was one thing that surprised me. I thought they would keep him around for a little bit longer, just to play like a secondary antagonist and maybe to try to keep fucking with Lexi as the episodes went on. Like, we see him plant drugs in her room, like right before he's killed at the end of this episode. So I thought they would keep him around a little bit longer, but man, what a fucking death that he gets. Fucking awesome stuff. And Nadine, I don't know what to think of this character yet. Like, she's just fucking strange, man. Like, really strange roommate of Lexi's. And she had some funny ass dialogue though. She has some funny lines. She goes to try to do a confession with the priest, and she's like, "It'll just be 20 minutes, 30 minutes most. Let's just call it 45 minutes." And this priest, like, you could tell that he's probably been dealing with her for a while, and it's like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't today. Like, maybe another day. And she's like, all right, tomorrow. It's like, tomorrow's not good. Like, he just wants this girl away from him, like, as soon as possible. But he ends up seeing her the next day, and we see, in the meantime, we get another good guy doll delivered here to the school. So we now have two Chuckies, a reformed one, and what we can only assume and see at the end is just another Chucky. So we got two Chuckies now here at the school, and just her whole confession when she starts saying about, I think, Lexi, my roommate, is a drug addict. Like, if my mom was an addict, I could see the signs, and but she's really a great girl, and like she's so pretty, and like just all the stuff she goes off on saying about Lexi, and then having the priest getting strangled by Chucky, and then having Chucky start saying, like, yeah, my child, like. And she's like, aren't you supposed to administer penance? She's like, yes, 400 Hail Marys. And that seems a little harsh, doesn't it? Like, but you're the expert on these things. Like, yes, I am. Like, just hearing Chucky play a priest giving penance was funny as hell. And the scene with Lexi in the bathroom, like, I feel so bad for this girl, man. Like, just so bad. And this is the same girl. I think I mentioned this in my discussion on the first episode of the season, that this is the same girl that in season 1, in the first few episodes, we wanted Chucky to fucking disembowel this girl. After going at that Halloween party and dressing up as Jake's father or uncle, I forgot. It's been a while since I saw the first season. But pretending that she's him and being electrified and like fucking shaking on the dance floor, we all wanted this girl dead after those first few episodes. And then they really did a great job of turning her character around and making her a very likable character. And it sucks seeing her go through what she's going through. Like, just with constantly popping pills, doing coke and smoking pot, and even now in the school setting and stuff, she's still managed to, I guess, bring her mom's prescriptions with her, and she's popping pills left and right, and she's in the bathroom crying after leaving Chucky alone, which specifically was told not to do, even though it's reformed Clockwork Orange Chucky. And I just feel so bad for her. Like, just her whole little speech to, what the hell's her name? Nadine, right? Yeah, Nadine. When she's telling her, like, it's not just today that's bad. Like, it's just, like, almost every day. And that, like, just being able to have to live up to what I'm supposed to be and how people see me is just, like, the well-dressed, exquisitely beautiful, like, smart, intelligent Lexi. And I just feel like I'm drowning inside. And Nadine is a little bit of a friend to her. I mean, she's starting to become friends with her. And she says, like, I got Oreos, a stash of Oreos in my room. No one could feel sad when they're eating Oreos. And just, I like the whole little dynamic that they're starting to have together, Nadine and Lexi. Then we see Chucky back on Devin Sawa's, the priest's desk. And after putting Devin to work in the chapel, just out of spite for Jake. And we find that Devin Sawa finds out about Jake and Devin's relationship in this episode. And we see Lexi go try to break into the infirmary to try to get more pills, and had to think on her feet real quick and say she had a headache and can I get some aspirin. A lot of cool stuff in this episode. I feel like it's starting to pick up a little bit more. Like I said, the first episode, there was a lot of stuff they had to establish. The second episode also I felt was a little uneventful. But now I feel like it's starting to gain traction. And if I recall, even in the first season, I thought the same thing. With the first episode was a little slow, but again, you had the first episode of the entire series. You got characters to introduce, you have their whole backstories and like so much, not exposition, but I'd say like just getting you familiarized with these characters. So same situation with the first two episodes here. I feel like they were a little slow moving, but with this episode here, I feel like now they're starting to push forward a little bit faster, and I like where it's going. Like, this has been, like I just said in the video I did for Drag Me to Hell, Evil Dead is one of my favorite horror franchises. That's never done me wrong. It has always been excellent, from Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, the remake, and Ash vs. Evil Dead. Never has done anything bad in that whole property for me. Evil Dead has been perfect from the first one to the remake and Ash vs. Evil Dead. Same with Child's Play. Child's Play is another one of my favorite horror franchises. Besides the remake, which didn't involve Don Mancini at all, so I don't even count it. I love every entry from Child's Play 1 to Cult of Chucky, the first season of this TV series, and so far I am enjoying the second season. Then we end this episode with one hell of a kill, man. When Trevor goes into Lexi's room and plants the pills in there, and then Chucky just comes out of nowhere behind him and just rips into his fucking body, through his body, and just like pulls his heart out. And there would be so much more blood. And the little bit of blood that they cover up, and Nadine and Lexi are pretending they're just like hanging out and playing with their stuffed animals over the sheet they put down. Get the fuck out of there. This guy got a hole ripped through his body. There would be so much more blood everywhere. So that was a little ridiculous, but awesome kill. Like, I didn't see that coming at all. And like I said, I thought they'd keep him around for a little bit longer at least, just to be another antagonist besides Chucky. But we have a whole bunch of Chuckies. We still don't know exactly how many, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of scenes coming up throughout the rest of the season with a shit ton of Chuckies in all of them. We're going to have some great stuff with Jennifer Tilly. We hopefully, and I don't see why not, we'll probably see the Tiffany doll again. And we had our introduction to Glenn and Glendale at the end of the last episode, in episode 2, which I'm so happy to see them back. And looking forward to episode 4 next week. So, anyone thoughts on this episode, on the season so far? What are you thinking so far? Are you thinking it's starting to pick up? Or if you've been enjoying it from the first second of the first episode? Or let me know your thoughts so far on Chucky Season 2. And especially on episode 3 from last night. And I will have another video up in a little bit. And wherever you guys are from, hope you're having a good morning, good night, and I will talk to you soon.